The Jets broke their losing streak this past Halloween. They beat the Texans. Here we are to talk about it.
Hey, New York Jet fans from all around the world. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
To Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
At Laugh Through the Turbulence, John Lovitz here.
The show that delivers you all your Jets content. Here are your hosts, John, Adam, and Monty. All the best to the New York Jet fans. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 go Jets.
Yeah, they won.
Right? What the hell?
Wow, they win football games? This feels weird.
Yeah, who knew that could happen? And it was versus a good team.
Really good team. Like, I know we kind of, like, the second half was a tale of two stories, right, with the second half. CJ Stroud actually really impressed me in that game, you know? Like, he scrambled a lot to get out of some, like, really tight windows and all that, like areas of pressure, right? Because there was a lot of pressure on him. I think it was 56% of snaps. He received pressure, and he was able to make some good throws. He fared a lot better this game against this Jets team than he did last year against last year's Jets team.
Shout out Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, he showed up. He had, 7 pressures, I think we counted, right? Or 8. I said you guys.
I actually think it was high. I thought it was 8, but yeah,
I think it might have been right.
It was a good amount of pressures.
You're right. McDonald and Hassan Reddick were 8 or 7, 8 each. Quinnen was 7, but he had the 2 sacks, right?
Yeah, and Quinnen had that forced fumble too.
Yes, he did. McDonald covered it. I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you guys actually watch the game, or?
I watched every single snap. Absolutely.
I watched it. I didn't watch it live. I watched it after the fact, and it was just, so shut the hell up. Anyway, look, like the stats kind of say it, for me as far as like what we're missing here. I'm just like, I'm still not fully convinced from this performance. I saw a lot that I didn't like. I still saw us beating ourselves with turnovers a lot. I still saw us, getting ran all over. Yes, I know Joe Mixon is good at football, but still, it's just been a pattern with this team of letting any and everyone just be able to just run all over us. I mean, they had 187 yards on the ground. We had 100 barely. So it's like, I can't say that this looks like a great football team. 9 penalties for 83 yards. Like, that's not good. We're not going to be a contender or threat to any legitimate team if we're giving basically a free ride down the field once every game in penalties. It just can't happen, right? I am happy that we actually won, but we also saw some very low PFF grades from some key players. I believe Malachi Corley's overall, well, we know why, but 23.1, bonehead ass play. We had Tyler Conklin with a 43.6 overall PFF grade, Breece Hall with a 46.5, Olu Fashanu with a 47.4.
Switching to guard, though, mind you, switching to guard.
True. That's a fair point. That is fair to point. He was playing out of position. And Jeremy Rucker with a 47.8. I mean, some of these guys like Breece, we definitely need him to show up like pretty much almost every game. We need Tyler Conklin to show up more times than not. And Olu, I give him a little bit of grace because he has shown, and he is still a rookie, and he's not a full starter, yada yada. But still, he needs to get his stuff together too. So it's like, I want to be happy about the win, but they had us in a lot of ways, and honestly, that game was kind of theirs to lose. They also were a little bit decimated. They didn't have they had Diggs gone for season. They were missing multiple receivers, so it's like good for them. But I gotta see more. I gotta see it keep going, or else look. Right now, I'm wearing the Lucky. This is my oldest Jets shirt that I own. I think this shirt's from like the year 2000 or something crazy like that. And, it's just wearing it for good luck. I'm not wearing the jerseys no more, nothing like that. I'm just going to keep wearing this, and hopefully it brings some good luck to the team.
Right. Go ahead, Nan.
Yeah, I think the way to look at this game is, you can look at it from a glass half full perspective and a glass half empty perspective, right? So glass half full, yeah, the second half, the offense looked amazing. Garrett finally had a game where you can look at him and kind of go back to what we said in the preseason and, in the offseason about Garrett being mentioned, in the same breath as Justin Jefferson. Devontae Adams looked good. The pass rush looked incredible, right? These are all really positive things. Yeah. Glass half empty, I think there's more, right? Running game was bad. Rush defense was bad. And maybe, let's be honest, maybe the Jets just have the Texans number for some reason, right? Maybe they're just a horrific matchup for the Texans. 2 years in a row, an excellent team gets stomped by the Jets. Well, stomped last year and beat this year.
Yeah.
It could just be a thing where the Jets are a matchup nightmare for them, and I also think, the first half was pretty bad. The first half, Rodgers looked washed. The first half, the offense looked awful. Mixon had almost 100 yards at halftime. And I know we're going to do a full Cardinals preview in our next episode, but the Cardinals can run the football. It's what they want to do. So, like you said, Monty, we have to see more to look at this and say playoffs are back on. This team has a chance. They're going to go to Arizona and lose 27-13. So I think it was a good win. I think it got them up off the mat a little bit, but still have to see a lot more from this team for that to be a win, that's more than just a one-off. And the final thing I want to say, Monty, you had mentioned this in our group chat about Tyron when we were talking about it, about how, it was either Steve Young or one of the retired quarterbacks was like, hey, listen, I can come in and win a football game. Can I do it over the whole season now? Absolutely not, right? And so with Aaron Rodgers' second half performance, is that one of those Steve Young, I can get up off the couch and win you a half every now and then? Or is this what we can expect from Aaron Rodgers moving forward? Right? So I think that's a really big thing to watch out because, in spurts, he's going to look like a first ballot Hall of Famer. Can he do that for 4 quarters over 5 games in a row? Right? And if he can't, then this team is dead. So I think that's kind of how I look at this game. Nice win, cool win, some amazing moments. But I don't know if this makes them all the way back until we see a lot more of it.
Right.
What do you think, John?
Okay. All right. So I'm just going to start a little positive here, okay? We mentioned PFF grades, who was bad, right? There's not the run grade. I don't know if we could really say, I think PFF does a really bad job on the run grade. So let me just preface that, right? They still ran for 100 yards, right? Which is still typically the standard of you did okay, right? Brees was 4.5 yards to carry, 15 of 71, I think I saw, right? So he wasn't bad. He had a long of 16, right? Malachi Corley also makes up some of that rushing, right, with the most bonehead play since Deshaun Jackson, but it's probably even higher of a bonehead play because, one, it's going to be his first touchdown ever, which is just fucking nuts, right? 2, poor sucker who had the first touchdown bet on Malachi Corley at plus 10,000 and missed on that because of that, which is just amazing for so many fucking reasons, right? But anyway, back to it. Quinnen is back, which is huge. That changes the pass rush, and it's great. right?
It's great to see.
And it sucks too because you finally got a real full game of Hassan Reddick, right? Can you just if it was Hassan Reddick, McDonald, Quinnen, and I'm going to say Jermaine, that third down pass rush they used to be so lethal with last year I don't think it misses a beat from last year, right? With Hoffman, Franklin Myers in there instead with Jermaine, right? I don't think it misses a beat.
That was the idea.
It was the idea. The DT spot, the second one. Kinlaw actually had a decent game, though, I think. Let me just see what the grade was on it. I don't think it was that great. Oh, no, it wasn't good. He had a 67 with 2, which is green. That's good, right? He was all right. But, it was just all right. But anyway, and Sauce, he's having a rough season, which it sucks. But I think that could turn around, right? He maybe gets fueled by it and turns it around. Tyron Smith had a great game, right? So there's that, right? He had a great game. Simpson was great until he went out. Tippmann was okay. And obviously Garrett Wilson, yes, leave was it Adidas for Nike, at this point, right? That was one of the most amazing catches. But I will say this: first half at the game, I was wearing the jersey over the sweater, wore the Laughter the Turbulence hat. Vibes were bad. I was talking to all my season ticket holders in the area that I know for 10 years or so. Everyone's like, we're giving him up. We're giving up, I think. We're giving him up. We're thinking about giving up. And I'm like, oh, this might be a good thing for me because I'm going to keep my 4 and then you guys can have them. And I actually have people come to the games, when they're scheduled to, unlike certain guys that do Jets podcasts and say they're going to come to games and then not come to games.
Hey, listen, we change when we get new information. Sometimes you gotta
adapt. You gotta adapt.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Let's not do that again.
Little sound effects, man. I do whatever I fucking want. All right, listen. Anyway, so what I did at the half, I took off the jersey, put it underneath the Jets hoodie that said "Laughter the Turbulence and New York Jets podcast."
Nice. Appreciate
so everyone could see my swag. And then the Jets played their best half of football.
Oh, so you're directly responsible.
I like the connection there.
I like directly responsible.
I like the connection.
Stupid things that backfire on the Jets backfired on the Texans for some reason. Tell me how they kick a field goal, it's good, and we get leaping over the center, first down again. They get a shorter field goal attempt, and they fucking miss it. Tell me how shit like that happens in that game for us. It's got to be the curse, and the curse is me wearing Jet stuff and not Laughter the Turbulence swag.
Well,
now that's the curse. Jesus.
Now we know what we got to do.
That's the solution. I almost just want to run the fucking commercial again right now.
So does this only work when you're? We'll have to try it for the Arizona game. You'll have to do the same thing.
No, I'm just going to wear the Turbulence swag while watching that game.
Yeah, let's see.
We'll see. But I don't know. Quinnen Williams, he was phenomenal. He absolutely was phenomenal. He's looking like his old self, and that really does wonders for the defense. The rush attack, though, is a problem, though. Against the Jets, it still is a problem. And maybe they missed Mosley a little bit on that one. I mean, Sherwood was okay in that game, and so was Quincy, but they weren't spectacular, right? And that's usually what solves the run game along with the guys in the middle, right?
Yeah,
they were just okay.
I still think they missed JFM there too.
They probably do. Well, JFM is interesting about him. So he's the run defense. His run defense is actually better on the edge than it is in the middle because he's still a tweener, so he's a little small for the middle, right? Which makes sense. Which is why you had Rankins come in and all those other guys, right? And he would always start off on the edge with Jermaine on the other side. You have Quinnen and Rankins in the middle, right? And then third down, you move JFM into the middle, and he does the little things that, with Quinnen, and then that causes fucking havoc, and you have, whatever. But basically, they're going to need to solve that next year, that DT spot, that second one with Quinnen.
They need to solve that now.
right.
Next year. There is no next year. They don't solve that shit today. There is no next year. They need to solve that now, bro.
I mean, we could go to the Jets pyramid, right, or the triangle, right, of hope, and basically kind of go view that right now.
Yeah,
right?
Bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I was. Okay. Share screen. Oh, that's why, because I had it already there. But here is the Jets pyramid of hope. As you can see, we start believing, we get our hopes up, we get disappointed, and we just keep going in this cycle over and over again. And right now, we're back here again.
Yes, because we beat a good team, and we looked good. We looked okay doing it. We looked good in the second half doing it, I should say. And now we're starting to hear that bullshit from Jet fans again about possible playoffs and
we need the line to go like this, away from the triangle,
away from the hopes up part. Yeah,
exactly. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know. I'm very nervous about this next game, especially. But,
and these games that we said that we looked at even before the season and as the season, progressed, Arizona doesn't look easy. Buffalo is not going to be easy. The Rams are playing for a division. That's not going to be easy, right? So those are 3 games right there that they could very easily lose.
Yes.
Right? And then
at the same time, there's other games that looked harder in the beginning of the year that are going to be easier now. Jaguars for one.
True.
Dolphins, right?
But I would also say Dolphins on the road. The Pats, it looked like they should sweep the Pats. They lost on the road to the Patriots, and the Dolphins are better than the Patriots, right? So,
and they only lost by a field goal to the Bills, just like we did.
Yeah, and they only lost, they lost by a point at the end of the game to the Cardinals, right? Those could be two more wins from Miami, So I don't think either of those Miami games is easy. That's 2. Arizona, Buffalo, the Rams. I mean, that's 5 out of the last 9 that are going to be very difficult.
Tough.
This, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and then it's a little too much. It's a little too much for us to overcome.
They win 2 of those stupid fucking games, right?
The Denver and Patriots games are the 2 games they could not lose, and they lost them.
Yeah, and
right, exactly.
6-3, and then the Vikings 7-2.
I think that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest problem in all of this is the tiebreaker losses, all those losses versus those AFC teams that we had earlier while, we were dealing with epic levels of dysfunction.
Pittsburgh's going to be there at the end of the road, right? Denver's probably going to fall off, but
I don't know. They seem to be picking up steam a little bit, man.
They really got destroyed by the Ravens.
Yeah, the Ravens are going to do that.
True, but the Ravens are good.
And the
they're really good.
Good.
Right now, with the tiebreaker, like Denver has the head-to-head tiebreaker. Pittsburgh has the head-to-head tiebreaker.
Buffalo will.
Buffalo will. It won't matter because Buffalo's going to win the division, right? So that tiebreaker doesn't really matter. But if Pittsburgh probably won't win the division, so you have to contend with them. Denver won't win the division. You have to contend with them, right? Mm-hmm. So these losses that, now we have to sit here every week. We have to hope Denver loses. Every week we have to hope Pittsburgh loses, right? Just to have a chance. The playoffs are very far away from where this team is.
I can't see it. I can't see it. I would love to see it.
Even with that kind of win, right? Which was a second half surge win, right? Which is really good. And it really wasn't close. I mean, it was a 1-score game at the end, but it really wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it, man. But again, like we said, it was a half, right? Anybody can give you a spectacular half, right? Tim Tebow gave you a spectacular second half in overtime and won a playoff game. Hasn't done didn't do anything after that. Anybody can give you a good half, whether it's an older Hall of Famer or just some guy. Right? We have to see consistency, and I can't point to a good second half and say, yes, that's it. That's what they're going to look like for the next, 8 games or whatever it is.
Yeah, well,
I'm gambling again.
Ready to do it again, though, on the Jets. Fuck it. I mean, I bet that actually is crazy. I
wow.
didn't gambling, but the thing that saved me was actually the Jets.
Yeah.
The Patriots +3 was bad. They fucking pushed. What else did I have that was really bad? There was a couple like bad beats in there. Yeah, and betting against the Giants seems to be a good formula.
That's a great formula this year. I know.
Yeah, it really is. How about that?
Poor Giants.
I know it's not Jets, but that Saquon spin and jump.
Yeah, oh my God!
I mean,
I targeted him in fantasy because I knew he was going to be doing shit like that.
Dude, what was more impressive, the Saquon spin and leap over the guy backwards, right, or the Garrett Wilson catch?
I think the backwards jump, man. I gotta say, because I've never seen that. I've never seen anything.
Right?
I've never seen you're jumping backwards against a guy who's jumping forwards. That's insane. Just those mechanics don't work.
And it's and it's after you made some moves too. It's not like you just turned around, like you just made a sick cut. You spun, and it was just It
looks like some shit that you do in a video game, and I'm not talking about.
I don't think you can do it in Madden actually. Complete the spin and then jump. I don't think you can spin and jump at the same time.
Right. I'm saying that shit looks like some shit you do like in a ninja video game or some game where the guy's super athletic platform or whatever.
Tekken.
Insane. Tekken. Yeah. Well, no, that's fighting. But yeah, they do flips and stuff in Tekken, I guess so. Yeah.
But what I would say, can you imagine being a Giant fan and watching that? I'd be like,
I would be sick.
We didn't give this guy a couple of more million, but we kept Daniel Jones
over paying Saquon. Stupidest move. And I love that Saquon made him eat it so badly. He's made that whole division eat it.
If you had kept Saquon, right? You have Saquon and Neighbors. That's a really, really nice start. And Andrew Thomas, if he can stay healthy, that's a really nice situation for a rookie quarterback to walk into. Absolutely. A receiver you can throw the ball basically anywhere, he'll go get it. An all-world running back and a top 10 left tackle. But instead, you let him. I would be sick if I were a Giant fan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely ill.
Yeah. No, I agree with you that, but I don't know. I guess we just gotta hope that maybe this continues with the Cardinals. I mean, it's a 4:00 game, so it's not gonna have as much attention as some games would. I mean, I don't even know what the next weekend schedule is of games outside of that. I mean, is it gonna be featured on Red Zone a lot? Is really the question, right?
Right.
Maybe, yeah. But let's see: Titans, Chargers, Eagles, Cowboys. Thank God. And then Lions, Texans, the Sunday night. Oh, damn, there's only 3 4:00 games left next week.
Did you see that? Speaking of Cowboys, real quick, did you see that clip with Dak?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's bad. That was bad.
I'm going to say this.
Imagine if that was Rodgers. Oh, God, it would be on 24-hour repeat.
Yeah. All right. Question for you guys. More disappointing season. Right. And there was an article about this, most disappointing seasons, right? For the year, right?
Okay.
Actually, the Jets were not even featured in it, which is fucking crazy to me.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Well, the reason why is because they had Browns, Jags, Cowboys, and Saints. Those were the 4.
Well, you know what?
Cowboys got to be up there, though.
But why the Jets aren't in there, I would say, is because for 2 reasons. I think, one, there were a lot of people in the media that didn't expect them to do good, right, going into the season. But additionally, I think...
I got to play the video again?
Not us, Dodo. He's talking about other media people.
Yeah, I'm saying other. But what I'm saying, but what also I think is when you look at those... Yeah, when I look at those 4 teams that you mentioned, there's no hope for them. I think there's a little bit of a shadow of a hope for the Jets, whereas those other 4 teams, they have nothing, right? Like Dallas, Jesus Christ, man, that's a disaster of a situation. The Browns.
After paying CD all that damn money.
Yep, and re-upping Dak. It's like...
And it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and now you still have to pay Micah. If I were them, I would trade Micah. He's spectacular, But dude, you need so much, and you're gonna have to pay him. Like, I would trade him for 2 firsts and a young player.
I think
who could afford it that needs it.
I don't think you dare touch Micah Parsons. I think he's the best defensive player in the league for the next 5 years.
Well, he's the most dynamic player that they have on their football team besides CeeDee Lamb right now.
Well, right now, I will say he's not going to get Depoy, obviously. The Depoy conversation is Dexter Lawrence and TJ Watt right now.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett, he had 3 sacks yesterday. Myles Garrett can get into
that conversation. Listen, if Will McDonald keeps up his sack streak,
no shot. He'll make Pro Bowl, but he's not because that's how people vote, by sacks, He'll make Pro Bowl, but he's not all pro. He's got to step up on the run defense first. He's got to get better at that.
Well, of course, but I'm saying if his sack total just gets crazy out of nowhere, like he just has another nasty game, bumps it up to like 18, like out of nowhere, like just goes crazy. Hey, anything's possible.
Yeah, but TJ Watt's got Trey Hendrickson has 11 sacks right now.
Trey Hendrickson is a beast, man. He is incredible.
I had to start him in an IDP league this week.
Oh, I played one of those too. Yeah, I got Fred Warner.
Dexter has 9 though. But the double team rate is just fucking absurd. It's like Aaron Donald numbers. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Like, it should be Dexter Lawrence, right?
Which is crazy how some human beings are just that strong and that dominant. That's nuts to think about.
Yes, it is. All right. So I guess the hero of the game is Garrett, right? And that's just
hands down. That Garrett catch, if they go on a run, that catch was the turning point of the season. Because if you think about like the context of that catch, Rodgers runs for a big first down, penalty. What is it then? 3rd and 22. And Garrett makes that play. If he doesn't make that play, you have to send on the field goal kicker who you just signed, who you're not sure of, right? Like, that's the turning point of the season if they go on a run.
And by the way, can I give a little shout out to Garrett Wilson real quick, because that dude is the future of New York Jets football.
Dude, he's the best
hands
player
down.
on the team.
That kid, he fucking cares so much.
Yeah.
Like when we do bad, when he has a bad game, like you can see it physically that like, and not in a bad way or fully bad way. It's just like he's immature or something, but like in a way where like he just wants this team and himself to be excellent so badly that I think that is going to translate into willing, us into victory in some games. And I think you need to have a guy like that as part of the core of your franchise. And I think we're blessed to have someone like that on this team. I think we need to do everything we can to keep him, because that dude is and like he'll play a game and then he'll have a bad game and he'll beat himself up about it. He'll be open about it, but then he comes back hard the next game. Like that's impressive. Like that's what you want. So,
that might be the jersey I buy.
Yeah,
from the new group.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: that he is, from what I've seen this season, he is the best player on that team.
Yeah, he's damn good.
The MVP of the team this year? No.
I mean, listen. Look. I mean, look at his receiving. Look at his receiving statistics.
They're
he's
good.
Top 5 in almost every category.
Yeah. Who do you think's impacted more games, him or Quincy Williams?
Quincy. Well, yeah. Well,
Quincy Williams, man. Quincy Williams is just an impact machine.
If they go on a run, that Garrett catch, it set the tone for everything, and
True.
I'm sure he's not going to decline, and I think Rodgers is making a concerted effort to get him the ball, and Devontae Adams is just going to help him.
Yeah.
So, interesting fact about Garrett's season, he leads the league in targets.
Yeah.
Yes.
84.
Which is crazy that this team just totally went left from what we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be a lot of Brees, a good amount of Braylon.
Well, I think they tried that. It
didn't work.
It was that, right?
Yeah, it didn't work. Clearly it didn't work.
Then it got abandoned, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy how like we literally shifted to the complete opposite direction. You went from a ground team to a team that throws a lot. Like,
Morgan Moses getting hurt really hurt the run game, right? They really did. And Simpson, I think he's going to be okay. But
I think Rodgers is one of the top incompletions in the league right now.
Rodgers, I mean, his turnover worthy
a lot.
The lowest, the third lowest in the league right now.
Right, which is great with how much he's throwing.
He's 7th in yards right now.
Yep, I just looked that up recently.
Yeah. Yep. I guess yards a game is really the stat, right? Yards per game is the stat, right? This one's really hard to say because like Tua's up there and all those guys with like low sample in there, right? But all right, so yards per game, 234. That would be like middle of the pack. Let's just say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yards is up there, but like it's gone up since the first 2 weeks substantially. So like, I don't know. Let's just hope it just continues, guys. Right?
Yep.
I mean, we want it to continue, right? But we have to be realistic and ask the question: can it continue? Right?
Yeah,
and I think that's the problem.
Do I think
just assume that it's not and hope and be happy if it does help?
If I have to go based on like what logic, pretty much almost everything is telling me. It's telling me this ain't going to continue and that this isn't the team that's going to continue that because of all those other things that we were deficient in. And then it's like, damn, well, not like it's teams don't really ever tank. Like they say that, but that's not really true. Like sometimes, once in a blue moon that might happen or teams might give up, players might give up. But like a team going full on tanking as a policy is not really a thing. And like, just, yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's go to final thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look, it's it's unrealistic to think that this team is gonna, end up packing it in, like I was saying. So I don't think that they will. So they're just gonna keep trying. I mean, that's just kind of is what it is. It's a little sad because the odds are just so stacked against them, and I hate that that they're giving us this hope with this, but at the same time, like there have been teams that have done it. The Lions started 1-6 not that long ago, and then ended up 9-8. I think that season. I think that was 2022. So we know it's doable. Do we have the coaching for that? Do we have the team for that? Do we have the heart and the grit for that? That really remains to be seen. I'm not confident, but I'm definitely going to keep watching. I mean, I'm a fan for a reason. So
you're just not going to go to the games.
Yeah, I'm just not going to go to the games. I just can't. It's just too, it's too much, like we're putting so much time, effort, money, thought, emotion into this franchise, and what have they given us back? You know what I mean? Like, and it's one thing to be like, what have you done for me lately? But it's another thing that like we've been doing this for decades. And like we know for a fact, like things that we've looked at, like how they're allocating their personnel in the front office and how they're allocating resources and the moves that they're making, like it's very unserious football things going on in One Jets Drive. And until they turn that around seriously and realistically and start just at least trying to do the things that the winning football teams do, and sticking to that as a long-term strategy, it's hard to take them seriously. Like there's just things that they need to do that they're not doing. And so it makes it hard for me to really throw my all in full support behind them. But I mean, listen, I'm still a fan. I'm still wearing my Jets gear, even though I said I wouldn't. It's just, it's going to be a tough watch, and we're going to be nervous every single game now because every single game could be essentially the end of our season pretty much from here on out. So that's tough. That really makes these games high stakes. I don't know if it makes it more or less enjoyable for me. You know what I mean? Because it's like any like downtime, it's like, oh, here we go, same old Jets. But then they could turn it around, and then it's like, oh, it's like, and that's the emotional roller coaster that we go through as fans and that we appreciate. But I think the Jets have pushed their luck a little too much, and like now it's like do or really, really do or die. So let's see what this team's made of.
Cool. And on.
Yeah, I think, I agree there. I think that, this is definitely going to be a roller coaster more so than we're used to, but I just won't ever forget the Denver and Patriot losses. Those were the two after they lost to the Patriots that pretty much put a nail in their coffin, to be honest. And now they're trying to, get out of this somehow. And I after playing 3-6 football in the first half of the season, I just can't see them playing 7-1 or 6-2 football the rest of the way. Right. And that's what it's going to take for them to make the playoffs, a minimum of 6-2. Right. Yeah. With, again, as we mentioned, 2 games against Miami, at Arizona, at Buffalo, Rams. Those are 5 very tough games. And then you have Seattle and Jacksonville, right? I mean, those are the 7 that are left. And so, no, there's one more that I'm missing, right?
Wait.
They're 3-6. That's like, there's one more
so
that I'm missing.
Yeah.
So whomever the other team is. But
the final Dolphins game, what are you talking about?
No, I said 2, but nevertheless.
Whatever.
They have a tough road ahead. And I just don't know if they'll be able to recover from the damage. And I think, to fast forward a little bit in the offseason, we're still going to go back to why wasn't Reddick in here day one? Why wasn't the Adams trade made in March? Right? Why didn't they, if they were going to fire Saleh, why didn't they do it in January instead of waiting until 5 games in? And all of those things, when you add them up, it makes it very difficult to recover from. And we're seeing that now, right? Devontae Adams will probably have a couple of games where he looks like Superman. Hassan Reddick will get his sacks and he's going to get a big contract. But it's all going to be too little too late for this season is what I think. I hope I'm dead wrong. I hope they win their last 8 games, and finish 11-6. I really do. But the reality of anything like that happening is, to me, slim. So I think, again, watch the games, enjoy them. You're going to see things like not exactly the Garrett Wilson catch, but you're going to see some good things. Enjoy those things, and we'll see how the season plays out.
Yeah. First shout out to Rafi and Alex, old high school friends of mine, created a group called Laugh Through the Turbulence Support Group. They're telling me they enjoy the show.
Cool.
You guys, especially Alex, given that he's in Latvia, defending our nation.
Wow.
So there we go.
Appreciate you big time. Thank you so much.
I got a text from a random number. I was like, "What's going on here?" It was because he doesn't have his cell phone on him. Well, let's see what happens. At this point, keep the bar low. But remember the triangle comes full circle.
The triangle comes full circle.
It is what it is, guys. And just remember, if you display your Laugh the Turbulence swag at these Jets games or while these Jets games are going,
I think that deserves a banner. The triangle has
a correlation that this actually fucking works. So do that, and just remember every night when you go to sleep, fuck the Patriots, fuck the Dolphins, which is great to see them collapse into us. So fuck the Bills. Go Jets.
Go Jets.
Peace. Laugh Through the Turbulence swag is now live and ready to make you look as good as Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball. Click in the bio to find out where to buy it. Get yours today and rep the green and white in style. And remember, wearing this swag doesn't make you look awesome. Actually, it increases our odds of the Jets winning. Well, maybe not, but it can't hurt to say that, right? Made probably from the finest child sweatshops from around the world that we do not endorse but still appreciate. Buy our swag today. We're giving you free content. Now it's time to empty your pockets and buy the stuff you don't need. Don't have a job? Well, you've got a kidney, right?
sell it, and buy our swag. See if that's this old lady with a purse? Take her purse and pawn it and use the money to buy our swag. Got some money tucked away for your kid's college fund? Empty the account and buy our swag, because your kid is just going to waste that money on a gender studies major anyway. Buy our fucking swag, dude!